Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Big Apple Mountain Tarot. I'm your host, Mike Rusnak.
And I'm Everest Tall. Today, we're going to talk about the very interesting Pisces full moon on September
10th.
10th.
3 a.m. Mountain Time.
Yeah, it's kind of in the middle of the night, so I get confused on what it's going to be the 10th or 11th. Depending on where you are, there's a lot going on. It's a very interesting moon. What do you think?
They're
Mike?
all interesting moons.
Well, yeah, but Pisces moon's really interesting and kind of, I get a little amped up for dream time, dreamy.
It's definitely a time to keep a dream journal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Virgo is never like my favorite season, although I'm a Virgo North Node.
Yeah,
Right?
that's probably why it's a little uncomfortable for you, because you're being drawn towards it.
I'm being drawn towards myself.
Drawn towards yourself.
Yeah, it's a time where, September jitters happen. We're normally like, oh my God, back to school. If you're that type of person.
Yeah,
You know?
I give myself a lot of shame on Virgo time.
Me too.
I do. I shame myself into oblivion, and I kind of like
I shame myself into paralysis.
Yeah, right. I do that. I think of all of the mistakes I've made and how I've ruined my life, and then I get really critical and I stay up really late, like kind of like obsessing about it.
Like a sick Virgo.
Like a sick person.
Virgos are amazing.
I know they are.
They are, and I have a lot of Virgo in my chart. I've been, speaking from experience. It keeps us. But it could really torture us if we're not great with OCD, and if we're perfectionists, we could feel super tortured by this energy. And of course, with Venus, which is in Virgo, Venus is seeking beauty, so we're looking for that beauty in the details. And the problem is, it's in a square to Mars. Mars is in Gemini, right? And Mars, that's like rocket fuel for understanding duality. So it almost feels like right now we could put ourselves in someone else's shoes and really understand what they're going through, and to look at things in this dual nature.
Yeah, and Mars is in Gemini for an extraordinary amount of time.
It's 8 months.
Yeah.
It's normally like a couple months. And
because
it retrogrades, it's going to be in Gemini till March.
March of 23.
March 25th, 2023. So strap in. We're going to have a lot of rocket fuel in Gemini for a long time.
A lot of communication, a lot of information coming.
Yeah. Speaking of communication, Mercury is it's stationing retrograde at the time of the full moon. So that's when its power is heightened.
Yes.
And
it's going to be in Libra, which is highlighting legal issues, taxes.
Again, seeing the duality of both sides. So with Mercury in Libra, we'll find that our communication is much more free. And the more we communicate, the more we teach ourselves. So that's where we are with Mercury and with Mars in Gemini.
Now, we're having a lot of retrogrades this moon, correct?
Right now, at the time of the moon, there will be 6 planets in retrograde. And retrograde, just think about it as review. Yeah. It's a review of what we've learned over the past year. With Mercury in retrograde, electronics get wonky. We become forgetful. We're likely to leave our keys in the door.
Be careful crossing the street.
If you're traveling, just do something. Just sit before the road. You know what I mean? Just sit and think, do I have this? Do I have that? It's just a time to get out ahead of that confusion, that energy. There's also 5 planets in mutable signs. The mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And with 5 planets in mutable signs, that's
scattered.
Yeah, super scattered energy, because the mutable signs wrap things up, close things down, they finish, they move on, they get ready for the next project. So with all these planets in mutable signs, the energy feels very scattered. Right?
Yeah, hard to focus, and kind of drifting mind and a lot of firing of the diodes in the brain. Like that. That's how my brain's going.
Now, with this full moon in Pisces, this Pisces is sort of hearkening back to the stellium that was happening at the beginning of this year through March and April when we had all of these planets. We had Mars and Venus, Jupiter and Neptune conjunct in the sign of Pisces. And it all culminated around April 12th because it was Titanic Day.
I had a really hard time with that. I was very excited for the opportunity to experience all of those planets in Pisces, but I found myself just completely
super murky,
muddy, murky, like emotionally wet, just kind of like a mess for there was a reason, but all those planets, but it felt like no particular reason. I thought I was kind of going crazy. And now months later, we have this opportunity to kind of review what's been going on.
And we're back in Virgo, and we're very energized. We're like Everest every day. We're like, let's do this, let's do that, let's do that, let's do that, let's do that. The moon is like flagging us, saying, hey, wait a minute. Remember your dream life. Keep your dream journal. Remember your spiritual life.
So now
Virgo could be very cerebral, right?
Right.
And Pisces is spiritual and dreams. Right. Yeah.
It's the 12th house. It's the unconscious. It's the collective. It's
Be careful
dreams.
of the trappings of our ego. We're very energized right now. We can't get caught up in our ego, though. This Pisces full moon is telling us, and it's conjunct with Neptune in retrograde. And this means be careful if you have OCD behaviors, if you have addictive personalities, be very careful at this time. Because this is a time where, people with addictions and struggles, they could be raked over the coals. So it's really, really important to center ourselves.
Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that, but I think you're right. With that Virgo energy and the that critical mind, there's escapism that can happen.
Yeah, we could get really tired of criticizing ourselves and being our worst enemies and say, I'm going to go have a drink. I'm going to go smoke some weed. I'm going to go,
Go smoke some crack.
Yeah. Let's edit that out.
1, 2, 3. Now, the one thing that's really great about this moon is that it's kind of like a dreamy rest before all of this major action that's going to be happening with Pluto and Saturn.
I just read this moon as remember your spirituality and put your faith somewhere, anywhere. It could be astrology, but it could also be in Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha or whatever. But you have to realize that it's not all us. We are not completely the God of our own universe. We are actually part of something bigger. And we have to remember that.
That Pisces subconscious collective gives us this moment to kind of remember that extraterrestrial space we occupy also, besides the day-to-day school, work.
And it's funny how we also have a problem with Pisces as a personal issue. We're like, Pisces, they're wishy-washy, but they're also spiritual. They're deeply spiritual, and they leap between this world and the dream realm. And that's great, So these signs, Pisces, Libra, Gemini, they're about dual nature.
Right. Finding balance and the the Virgo Pisces axis is really interesting and difficult for me personally, because you've got the Virgo details that got to get figured out and have to be checked off and has to be done correctly. But in order to kind of excel in the subconscious and the spiritual realm, these details have to be figured out terrestrially.
Right. You have to check all these out before you could go to sleep and have your dreamy, spiritual, wonderful world. I had an amazing dream last night, by the way.
I loved that dream.
Yeah, I haven't been so actively dreaming in the past year, but this one jumped out at me. Yeah. So this full moon is really it's going to be kind of the calm before the holidays, because in October we will have our final square between Saturn in Aquarius
Thank
and
God.
Uranus in Taurus. Saturn in Aquarius. And remember, this is about the old guard falling away and a new world emerging, a place where we excel and ascend to this higher place of consciousness.
Right.
Our higher intention self. That's
Yeah.
what we're looking for. That's what we're here to do, and how to evolve. And Saturn in Aquarius is telling us to put down new roots socially where we are, to start new social circles, to find your own tribe where you are today, as opposed to a couple of years ago. We're in a very different place. And we had COVID and this whole shutdown, this break.
Right. And it really exposed a lot of the common problems that you can just kind of glide over, and they won't be supposedly, if you just kind of glide over it, it won't affect you later. But what's happening is that you have to deal with these issues.
The lessons always come back.
They always come back, and if you don't deal with these,
you repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And if you move somewhere, you'll recreate it and you'll repeat it. You take your personal hell with you wherever you move.
I'm kind of seeing it as I don't know if this is correct, but Saturn in Aquarius, it reminds me of these nasty little weeds we have out here in New Mexico called goat heads. And I'm always on the hunt to find them because they flower and they have these horrible seeds that hurt you, but they develop later and you'll run into them over the fall and over the winter, and they'll get into your foot.
I think the expression is nip it in the bud.
That's it. That's what I was trying to say. Nip it in the bud.
It's all about nipping it in the bud. And this is this energized September. It's let's get this done before it turns into a problem. Let's fix that before it gets out of control. Let's,
Yeah, I know. So I'm really kind of hoping I have time to kind of fall into a nice dreamy hammock life, and just to have a good moon that gives me a little rest.
Yeah.
And calms my mind and lets me relax and dream and be passive.
Without judging yourself.
I'm so judgy of myself.
We're all our worst enemies.
I'm so bad sometimes.
And then in December, we will have our final, for the United States at least.
Yes.
We'll have our final Pluto return. So.
And hasn't this been fun?
Next year's energy is
It's gonna be totally different next year. It's been so intense.
For
the past 3 years. But here we are with our beautiful Pisces dreamy moon. And I hope it kind of
I hope it reveals a lot to each and every one of you. And I hope you're able to kind of reference what was going on in March and April. Beginning of the year, to come back to that, to maybe put ourselves through these paces that we've been through, but to have different reactions to old traumas, and to kind of keep evolving.
And I kind of see it as, so we've had this incredible couple years, and now we're back in review and reflect period after all of these experiences, and after this Pisces conjunction earlier in the year that was so intense. And hopefully, the mysteries can be figured out on the basic material level of how do you function as a society right now.
And Virgo is the sign of service.
Yes.
Right?
Service to others. It's the harvest.
Being in service, and it's the harvest moon.
It's the harvest moon. And one of the amazing things about the Virgo sign is that it's finding the right grain to nourish the world.
Right. And this is the moment where the grasshopper keeps fiddling and the ants are working, And it's time to think about what's going on for the winter. Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is part of the September freak out jitters, is winter's coming.
Yeah, but it's funny because this year I haven't noticed the jitters like the previous years.
Yeah.
And it's because we have Mars in Gemini, and we also have Mercury in Libra. All right. And Mercury in Libra is trining to Mars in Gemini. So Mars in Gemini is giving us fuel to experience the duality of every situation that we could imagine. So everything that we imagine, we have like this deep understanding.
Yeah.
And we have like unlimited energy right now and unlimited words to understand both sides of every topic. So that's where we are today.
That is where we are today.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's like this rocket fuel. There's like, maybe a little bit of jittery energy, but there's more like, let's go through this.
Yeah.
Let's,
Yeah, we've been accustomed to this energy for a while now, and it's like, all right, let's get through it. And we've had a
let's set them up and knock them down.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
And I think you're right when you're talking about the Pisces conjunction earlier in this year, and how deeply it affected our subconscious, having all those planets in Pisces.
It deepened our sensitivity to everybody and people who are not in our tribe or our camp, but it's really gotten us to become more empathetic and more, spiritually enriched for this new earth that we're seeking, right?
And creating.
Yeah. And creating. As the old guard falls away, we are creating this new reality, and Pisces has helped us. And this moon is a reminder. It's taken us back to March, April, reminding us to step out of our dutiful service to others and our sharpened pencils and hands on our desks and paying attention. But think about more the dream realm and the spirituality. And remember, don't get caught up in our ego. Don't get too caught up in our ego. Right?
Yeah.
The only other thing I have to mention is that Mercury in Libra is going to be trining, positive aspect to Mars in Gemini.
Yeah.
So this rocket fuel energy is going to be supported by our internal work, which we will be able to communicate quite effectively. So that's a very good aspect.
Yeah. And clear communication is the key.
Yeah, and it seems like very intense, but it's really, I think everyone's ready for it. The planets are saying so. They're saying, we're all reviewing what we've learned for the past couple of years, and we're ready to take our fresh new steps into the future confidently, with all this fuel energy that we have. Passion. Okay. Do you want to pull some cards, Everest?
Yeah, let's pull some cards. We're going to do some tarot cards for each sign for this full moon in Pisces.
Cool. Here we
imagine dreams. Subconscious ocean of spirit, beautiful Pisces energy.
It's very blue and purple.
Very blue and purple. Okay.
Aries.
Okay, so the devil. So we've got our contracts, our ties to society.
Yes, we do not. The world doesn't happen to us. We are signing up for it. We agree to go through insanity time after time. But we have to take that responsibility. We have to remember we are getting ourselves into these contracts.
Right.
Right?
And so Mars rules Aries, and Mars is going to be in Gemini. Enough said. Okay, so then now we have our second house, Taurus. We have the Knight of Wands. The wands represent fire. This is the cautious knight. He's rearing up, kind of.
He's ready to go, but he's holding back. It's like a restrained enthusiasm, right? Yeah.
So there's stuff happening for Tauruses, but you're kind of pulling back as things are developing.
Overthinking. Don't overthink. Try not to overthink.
Yes.
Just try not to overthink.
Now we have our third house, Gemini. Oh, wow. Okay, another
wand.
Another wand. We got the Page of Wands. The pages are messengers. So there's a lot going on for Gemini right now.
Gemini is all messages. They're just all messages.
So perhaps you're feeling like you got a lot to say, especially with Mars in your sign. You got a lot to do. It sounds
You have
familiar.
until March to say it.
Yeah, get it out. Okay. Okay.
Cancer. Right?
Cancer. We're waking up from a nightmare. Perhaps there's a startling revelation that's coming through to you, or an emotional space that's kind of like jolted you awake.
Or frequently we just entertain our worst fears because we think it keeps us on our guard, so we're always trying to be ready for the worst thing to happen. And
Cancer tends to think about the past. They're kind of past centered, and there might be something in the previous time that's driving you a little nuts.
You're a Cancer.
Ascendant. I've got a very strong Cancer. Yeah. That's kind of what's going on. Oh my goodness. Hello, Leo.
Why not?
Why not? Here's like
the sunflower.
Here's like one of the ultimate Leo cards, the Queen of Wands. She is straightforward. She is holding her wand of fire and a sunflower, and she's got her black cat right here.
Yeah.
This would kind of tell me
that's the symbol of the hidden realm, right? The black cat.
Yeah, exactly. To trust your intuition.
Oh, and I do.
Oh, yes. Okay. Virgo. I am so sorry. Okay.
Wow.
Hello. This is an amazing card.
Yeah, the 10 of Pentacles. That's a happy place.
This is
that's
a great
place
one.
Of real, a completed cycle, and everything is as it should be in the world right now.
This is the only card that has, generations. So it's got, kind of the father figure, the married couple. There's children. There's dogs.
It's intergenerational wealth.
Family wealth.
Yeah, right.
And wealth as in money, but also values.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
Scorpio. Libra. I'm sorry. Libra.
Okay, we got the Queen of Pentacles for Libra. She is kind of impregnated almost with this value, and is caring for it and nurturing it and reviewing it, and really thoughtfully perceiving abundance. Now we're at Scorpio. Hey.
Okay, that's a lot of emotion. 10 of Cups.
10 of Cups. Tens are a end of a cycle. This one, it's got as all cards, it's got a range to it. There's a rainbow of emotions here. It's both a family celebration, but it also can be a little bit like performance.
Performing happiness.
Yeah,
so
performing
it could be the card of performing happiness. Yeah.
Yeah, because it almost as if this is a theatrical screen behind them.
Yeah, but it's a lot of emotional wealth, and with the South Node in Scorpio, and all these eclipses happening. We're going to have eclipses coming up in October.
Oh, yes.
And November.
Yes.
In Scorpio season. So this could be the completion of a cycle and moving on to a complete new chapter. Yeah.
That's great.
Thanks.
Scorpio.
Sagittarius? Yeah.
Yeah, Sagittarius.
Ooh.
Okay. Hey, Sag. What do you think of this one? Knight of Swords. Action.
Action adventure.
Yeah, action adventure, getting right to it. The swords are thoughts, knowledge. Perhaps our Sag friends
They're tired of ruminating. They're ready to go.
Ready to go. I know a couple Sages that are ready to go. Sagittarius, and then we have Capricorn. Okay, so we have
the 9 of Cups.
9 of Cups. So here's a fellow. He's very proud. He's got his little red hat.
Professionally proud.
Yeah. He's rather haughty with all of his emotions here, his wealth. There's a little bit of a warning of haughtiness.
Yeah, I'm guarded and
yeah, it's what I got.
Yeah, haughty. This is what I've done. This is my career. This is what these are the ladders that I've climbed. Recognize me. Speaking of, oh, hi. Hello. This is also me, Aquarius. The Magician.
So the magician is the transformer. He's taking the energy from the celestial and
From the
transforming.
heavens and transferring it to the ground, grounding it.
Yeah.
Yeah, alchemically, he's turning shit into gold.
And we have had this really major Saturn event in Aquarius, which has been like really
hammering for a
us
couple
down.
of years. It's like, oh my god, when will this end?
Yeah.
These outer planets move so slowly.
They do. They move really, really slowly. And
they give us ample time to review all of their lessons.
And speaking of review, here's our last card. We've got Pisces. And Pisces get the Virgo card, which is the Hermit.
Yeah.
Interesting how that works out.
Yeah.
So we've got the Hermit.
Guarded and protected in his robes, in his isolation.
Yeah.
Great wisdom, but very fragile.
Yes.
Too.
Yeah, fragile.
It works for the hermit. But the hermit is protected, and the more you protect yourself, the more fragile you become. So it's always about finding a balance.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
But listen to your heart, everybody. Listen to your heart, your inner wisdom. Ask for that guidance.
Your light.
Ask just somewhere outside of yourself. Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, whoever. Or just ask the planets.
Right.
Because as with everything, the planets take a level of faith to learn their lessons. Right?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Well, I think this was excellent, Mike.
Let's pat ourselves in the back some more.
Ourselves on the back.
What a great time. Yeah, so have a great full moon, everybody.
Thank you. We hope you have a really good Pisces full moon. Thanks for visiting us. Goodbye.
Bye.
We'll talk to you in a couple weeks.